Well, shalom, and thank you so much for joining me. We're up to page 224 of volume 2 of Rabbi Avigdor Miller's new translation of commentary of the Mesillat Yesharim, the Path of the Just, originally written by Moshe Chaim Lazzato. And the subject is oaths. This is part 32 of chapter 11. Chapter 11 is entitled The Details and Qualities of Nikiut, which is purity or cleanliness. So let's learn a little bit about oaths, taking vows. However, when it comes to swearing, although generally all except the lowest people are careful not to utter Hashem's name with their mouths for nothing, Rabbi Avigdor Miller says we may not bandy Hashem's name around carelessly only for tefillah, only for prayer or expressions of gratitude, or when we say a blessing or something like that. Anyone who is of a better training is certainly not going to do that. So, if you're angry because you can't find a parking spot in a car park, or the restaurant that you're at, the food isn't up to par, don't, say, well, I'm never coming back here. I swear in God's name that I'm not coming back here. Why would you do that? Why are you playing Russian roulette with your soul and just bandying the name of the Creator around in just incidences that occur in life, and they do occur where we're inconvenienced? Just don't do it. Certainly, says the Mesillat Yesharim, people are careful not to swear, yet there are some smaller subdivisions which, although they are not the most severe sins like swearing, nevertheless it is proper for one who wants to be clean to guard against them. This is what the sages said in the Gemara, Tractate Shiviot 36a. Rabbi Elazar said, sometimes even when you say no or yes, it is similar to an oath. Rava said that is only when you say it twice, no, no, or yes, yes. It's not exactly an oath, but Rava says there's something like an oath. It's something like an oath. For example, if somebody asks, will you back out of this agreement? And you say, no, I won't back out. Then again, you say, no, I won't back out twice. Likewise, saying, yes, yes, I'll do it. It's serious business. Of course, even one yes should be considered important enough to fulfill, but saying it 2 times makes it a serious commitment. So you profess to be somebody that believes in the same God as the Jews. You love the Torah. You want to follow the Torah in your capacity, in your station in life, and you're somebody who says yes, but will often change his mind. You don't want to be known for that. Particularly in relation to what you're trying to show people that you stand for. So you don't want people to say, well, I don't like people who are sort of doing what you're doing, because they're people who are double-minded. They can't decide what they want to do. They'll back out of something after they've said that yes, they're going to do it. No, you want to be somebody that sticks with what he said he's going to do. The sages also says the Mesillat Yesharim, regarding the verse, you should have a righteous measure, and that's from Vayikra 19:36. A hin is a certain measure, but hin can also mean yes. Your no should be righteous, and your yes should be righteous. So when looking at having lawful weights and measures, on the spirit of the teaching there is actually telling us to make sure that if we say no, that it is really no, and if we say yes, it is really going to be yes. So our speech should have consistency in the way it's measured. So when people go back and think about how you spoke with them and interacted with them, what you said and what you did, it all is equally measured. It's all above par. Rabbi Avigdor Miller says, we see how important a man's word is based on the fact that it can generate a new law of the Torah. When he makes an oath, shivuah, to forbid something to himself, it makes that thing forbidden and it becomes a love of the Torah. If the word can create a law of the Torah, you have to understand how serious it is even when you don't swear. So, Hashem takes our words very seriously, and he's trying to teach us that our words have power. Our words essentially have creative power. Like Hashem was able to create everything in Genesis, at the beginning of Genesis, through speech, we also potentially have that power as well. But if we don't learn how to train ourselves to speak well, speak aptly and appropriately, and speak accurately, we are not going to be availed ourselves of the reward at the time of our judgment, because speech has creative potential, creative power. So we need to treat the act of speaking in the same way as we treat the act of thinking or actually doing something. So the world of action, the world of thought, and the world of speech are all worlds of equally the same standing. So Hashem says, I'm regarding everything you're saying with complete seriousness, and this is what we want. We want Hashem to take our words seriously. So if we speak in a way that's flippant, then we're undermining what that key thing is that we're desiring from the Almighty. We're undermining that cause. Getting married is also a serious business, because these are promises written in a ketubah. The Chazan obligates himself to the terms of the ketubah, and the Chazan tells two witnesses to sign it. He promises to honor his wife like the way of Jewish men, to work and to support her. This is a serious commitment, and if you have to realize that such a commitment means that there is no obligation in the eyes of Hashem as well, that there's no obligation, that there is an obligation in the eyes of Hashem as well. Swearing, of course, is most severe. Swearing, of course, is most severe. However, sometimes you should know it's a mitzvah to swear. It says in Pirkei Avot, Nidarim are the fence for abstinence. If a person finds himself in a situation where there's temptation to do something wrong, it would be a mitzvah to swear not to yield to the temptation. So sometimes we might feel there's a certain thing that we slip into doing, and we can't find any way out of it. But by making a vow and knowing how serious a vow is, that vow can enable us to be able to muster the power not to do that particular thing again. So that can be the positive and the benefit of actually taking a vow. I used to work with a guy. He used to bet all the time on things. He used to say, I bet you I'm not going to have a sick day for a month. And how much do you want to bet? $20. And so at the end of that month, he would get $20, and that would spur him on for the next month not to have a sick day, because he knew at the end of it, he was going to get $20. I kept wondering to myself, why does this guy always want to bet on things? And I worked out that the guy really had struggled with actually sticking to tasks. So he had this sort of predisposition to want to bet, or, I'll bet you a lunch that I can do that. So basically, I had to shout him a lunch. And so it ended up making him get things done. It took me a while to work that out. But once I worked it out, I was like, oh, that's pretty clever. It's annoying, but it's pretty clever. For example, if someone wants to stop smoking and has difficulty stopping himself, he can swear that he won't smoke for a day. But he should give himself an exit by saying that if he violates the oath, he will pay a certain amount of money to Zadakah, to which he ordinarily wouldn't give. So, that's a way of not being it's not the end of the world. You make a little vow with yourself. If I smoke a cigarette tomorrow, I'm going to give $20 to this institution or something like that, as a way and means to improve your ability to overcome that temptation. If he's successful for one day, then he can do the same the next day. I swear I won't smoke today. Otherwise, I'll pay $100 for each cigarette to rescind the Shavua. So sometimes Nidarim and Shavuot are a mitzvah to be used to overcome temptation. So, somebody might be wondering, well, if, we're to refrain from vows, and, Rabbi Yeshua said to just refrain from vows altogether, a thinking person might often wonder, why does the Torah devote so many pages on the lawful way of taking a vow and what to do and what not to do? I think we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me on this little bit of an insight we got on oaths. So yeah, just be very careful. Don't be one of these people that wants to swear that they won't do anything, or if you say something, you say you're going to do something, and you don't do it. Don't be one of these people. Just follow through and do it, because Hashem takes your words as seriously as he expects you to take his Torah. It's a two-way street. He says, if you take my Torah seriously, I'll take you seriously. I'll take what you say seriously. That's why somebody can have the ability potentially to raise the dead simply by telling them to get up. And Hashem says, well, you know what? You've always used your speech in a way that has been consistent, and you've always served me in a way that has pleased me. So I'm going to raise this dead person for you, and I'm going to do what you've been doing for me the whole time. So it's when we look at it in that light, we go, okay, wow, okay, I'm really going to watch what I say, because I'd love my speech to be able to have the potential to do that one day. And it can, but it's hard in this day and age to go from day to day and really control the things that we verbally say. So sit down, have a think. Maybe there's some tshuva that needs to take effect, and you can do it. You just have to want to do it. Thanks again for joining me. Bye for now.